lot on the table, now we coming to get it. The shook one's gone, we too Brooklyn strong. Can't stop, won't stop from the Brooklyn block. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N.
There you go.
B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N. B-R-O-O-K. We well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N.
Just give me the ball, I'm fitting the score next. My J is all net, me and Jada just all next. Getting back on defense, hit him with strong flex. I'm official like a ref, trying not to get attacked. And we go hard on Brooklyn, that's a promise. Watch me like a Cam, cause it's my time. Make sure watch me like a Cam, cause it's my time. Switch, they can't guard me, especially side the Barclays. Spin between crosses, I can score with both hands. Midi flawless, and I get to paint like an artist. I'm a boss smith, so you should respect my handle. I see the big picture with the Nets like a mantle. In the future, I see us as champs too. And when we do, I'ma do a Brooklyn dance move. To stir that whole Millie rock like a fan do. That's a bet like my parlay on FanDuel.
B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N.
When you establish a culture, that's what you do every day. That creates one thing that it's your identity. All right, that's.
Yo, it's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. And part 2 of that interview with KD, Bron, and Nash came out. I was on it. It said 8 minutes when I seen it. It just dropped. I watched it. Very underwhelming in my opinion. You know, I thought that the explanation that they articulated could have been way better, way more thorough. It could have been way more to the point. I wanted to hear more from Nash's perspective. Wanted to hear him be more vocal on what he could have did and what it did, and you know what I mean. I just felt like they fell short of the explanation that the fans deserve in Brooklyn. You know, the Brooklyn Nets fans deserve to, you know what I'm saying, hear more. But again, maybe I'm critiquing it too much. We're gonna actually listen to the content and then I'll react to it.
When you think back to our time in Brooklyn, what do you think of?
I had just signed that deal. You had just signed the deal. But I feel like we were secure, but everything else around us was going not in a bad way. We got GMs going to other teams. We got coaches going to other teams. We got players forcing trades. We got bringing Ben Simmons. He's back. Like, it was just so much
stuff going on
around us. I feel like we were locked in on the same page and understand, like, well, we're trying to do something special here. And I felt like your hands were tied a lot because you had to, as a coach, you got to deal with so much.
I didn't get to coach as much as I wanted to.
That's what it was. I didn't think we didn't get the full.
My thing is, what do you mean you didn't get to coach the way you wanted to, or coach as much as you wanted to? Why didn't you get to coach as much as you wanted to? You were the head coach. D'Antoni was the assistant coach one of the years, so you were the head coach. But at the end of the day, so what? I don't understand how you was there for 4 years and you could fix your face to say that you didn't get the chance to coach. Then elaborate on that. Elaborate about what you mean you didn't get the chance to coach. What do you mean? You the head coach. You don't have to answer to nobody. Sean Marks and Joe Tsai went out and hired you. They went and did the most to hire you, and you. So they had to give you green light to make things the way you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm not checking that shit, bro. I'm really not feeling that answer. Like, let's keep it going though.
Full Steve Nash, like I wanted, like you probably wanted. I just felt like it was just too much, too many distractions in a way, and you know you can't win that way. And but I felt like we had great intentions, though. I felt like we cared enough. I felt like every day we were trying to push towards winning the champ. It was a great vibe in there. It's some of the best times. That first year, that's why I signed that deal. That first year, man, most fun ball I had. Some of the most fun ball I had playing my whole life. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Brooklyn a lot. I love playing for Brooklyn, but it's just so much
stuff happened
around the guys that were committed to the situation. I felt like we were committed, but everybody else wasn't. It just was weird.
All you get is a half a bar. That's all y'all. That's all we get, bruh. I'm so disappointed in this explanation, bro. Like I'm just. It's like, what do you mean you didn't get a chance to coach the way you wanted to coach? What do you mean by that? Like that's not a answer that I could be satisfied with. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you. That wasn't enough. Like, who was stopping you from coaching the way you wanted to coach when they did all of that just to get you on the team? Who was stopping you? Wasn't nobody stopping you. Nobody. I don't understand. Like, I agree with KD about the Ben Simmons thing. He wasn't feeling that, but that was a situation where if you a star player, you trying to contend, and the guy that they got, he can't even compete. Like, he hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that I agree with KD on that. I think KD was more straight to it than Steve Nash was. Claude Smith, a moderator on his page, said Steve Nash was inexperienced trying to coach veteran team with superstars. He was in over his head from the jump. Exactly. This is what it happened. And so this is why he didn't get a chance to coach. He shouldn't have been coaching in the first place. The job should have never went to him. I think he should have took the assistant coach job. I think he should have said, yeah, I'll come on board, but let me be the assistant coach, And I think that's the problem. That, we didn't want D'Antoni but why fire Kenny Atkinson? What did, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? I don't understand that. There's no justification to Sean Marks firing Kenny Atkinson. Did he ever vocalize why they wanted to go in a different direction? Because he was a great player development coach. And granted, we didn't give it the job to Ime neither. But now that we got Jordy Fernandez, I think we back to the basics, back to the player development side of basketball, which is good. You know what I'm saying? But this is nah, I wasn't feeling that, yo. I wasn't feeling that explanation. That explanation was crazy. I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling that at all. It gotta be some more than that. You know what I'm saying? Or it gotta be more than that. Cause let me see. See share what really happened in Brooklyn. This is a 4-minute segment. And then it said why Steve was unable to reach his full potential as a Nets coach. Okay, so yeah, he has an explanation for it. We're gonna get into that. Let's watch that content. We'll watch what we just seen, but the full length of it, that was 1 minute and change. It's a little longer. So we'll watch this and see if we can get more of an insight of what's going on, because that clip, makes me beg for wants to hear more. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Him stepping on that damn 3-point line.
We had this conversation.
That's one of them. Stepping on that damn.
I can't get away from it too, because they gonna repost that and tag me in it. But we had this conversation in Portland, I think, right before a game, and I'm like, who am I spending my next 5 years with? I had just signed that deal. You had just signed the deal, but I feel like we were secure, but everything else around us was going to shit. Not in a bad way. We got GMs going to other teams. We got coaches going to other teams. We got players forcing trades. We got bringing Ben Simmons. He's back. Like, it was just so much
stuff going on.
Bullshit around us. I feel like we were locked in on the same page and understand, like, well, we're trying to do something special here. And I felt like your hands were tied a lot because you had to, as a coach, you got to deal with so much.
I didn't get to coach as much as I wanted to.
That's what it was. I didn't think we didn't get the full Steve Nash like I wanted, like you probably wanted. I just felt like it was just too much, too many distractions in a way, and you can't win that way. And but I felt like we had great intentions, though. I felt like we cared enough. I felt like every day we were trying to push towards winning the champ. It was a great vibe in there. It's some of the best times. That first year, that's why I signed that deal. That first year, man, most fun ball I had. Some of the most fun ball I had playing my whole life. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Brooklyn a lot. I love playing for Brooklyn, but it's just so much
stuff happened
around the guys that were committed to the situation. I felt like we were committed, but everybody else wasn't. It just was weird.
Sometimes I feel like I let you guys down in a way, and then I think about everything that happened.
Come on, man. That shit was.
We had a 3-star roster. The cap. His team of 3 stars played 16 games together.
We balled out every game we played together.
That's one. You could go down the list and add all these things. And for me, I end up feeling like I'm making excuses.
See, that part I don't want y'all to miss out on what he said. He said they played 16 games together. So technically we had them on paper. Like I said, we had Harden, Kyrie, and KD on paper more than we had them on the court. So that being said, they didn't really play a lot of basketball games. You know what I mean? You're talking about over the course of 4 seasons, they played 16 games together. How much did we really have them? You know what I'm saying? They 16 games out of 82. That's not come on, that's not really a trio for 16 games. Not 60, not 60, 1-6. That's one part that Steve Nash said that they kind of glossed over. I don't like the fact that they glossed over that part. I don't like the fact that they, just said it and didn't get into why he's saying what he's saying about only having those 3 players, the star players, for, 16 games. I think he missed a big opportunity to connect with the fans and explain what it's like for a coach to have to adjust not having the stars that you're supposed to have a healthy wise, and didn't give the fans the opportunity to listen to Nash talk about the audibles and other things that he wanted to do with different players. Talk about what's going on, what happened with Cam Thomas. Well, why y'all wasn't playing Cam Thomas more? Why wasn't he featured more? Why, you know what I mean? What was the hold up? Y'all panicked just because y'all didn't have y'all star players. Like you didn't know what to do with the other players that was in the roster or on the rotation. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brockwork. He said the beautiful thing about the current Nets is being able to start over and improve past mistakes. This is true. We're going to finish the content. We're going to get back into the content.
Excuses. The reality is, from my perspective, I feel a little bit like I let everyone down, but then I realized there was so much to me, and I just wish I had more of a chance to develop as a coach.
I think so too. I just think your hands were tied too many times. You had to be super.
You see, but that's
principle more so than anything.
Listen, that part I like. I like that about Nash. He said he wished he had more time to develop as a coach. Granted, he was there for 3-4 years, and he wasn't vocal. And I just think that he should have been an assistant coach first. I think that's his mistake. I think he should have been part of it, but not at that head coach capacity. But we're going to keep it going.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just couldn't, inject your basketball, you know what I'm saying? Just everything that you have basketball. I didn't feel like you could inject that into everybody in the way that we all envision, you know what I'm saying? Just because of the distractions, COVID, injuries. More than anything, I think it's injuries. I feel like we had a good chance to win that first year.
But we were injured. James shouldn't have been playing. He was on one leg. Kyrie was out. Hurt. Jeff Green was in and out.
Yeah, so I think more than anything, I think we had a great chance to win. And
But see, this is another thing that I'm saying about Nash is that he's leaning into the roster rotation, like who's on the roster, not necessarily like KD is saying, like implement what you think is winning basketball. You didn't do that with the players, and I don't think Nash he leaned on the veterans to do what they do for his system to work, and that's not your system. That's you just having great players. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he should have been an assistant coach first. He should have been an assistant coach first. I'm listening to what they're saying, but I'm gonna keep it going.
That year I stepped on the line, but yeah, it's just
it's life.
Some shit happens that way, man. Like,
right.
But I don't think that should be an indictment on anybody. It's just like people don't understand context, though, and what truly happens and how you need to really be connected as a group. Like, they just looked at the names and thought it's supposed to be perfect.
And people always think like you said, without context, but also they want to come in over the top and say, they didn't do it, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. I think for guys like that go every day, like our approach to our routines, it's war.
Every day.
We're not afraid to lose.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. You know what I mean? So when we lose, it doesn't work out. We're not at home and everyone's like, they're killing. We don't think about that, right? We think about like taking on the chin. Let's get ready for whatever the next war is.
We're going putting our boots back on the next year. Like that's always.
What you mean? Put your boots back on? You left us. You put your different boots on. You went to a whole different team. Talk about we gonna get ready for the next situation. You was on a different team. And Nash, you're not a head coach no more. But what's this whole nonchalant attitude? Like, this is what I'm saying. They act like they didn't really care whether they won here or not. Like, stop it. I don't hear no pain. Where's the pain? Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Where's the regret? You know what I mean? Like, that was our one opportunity again. The last time we went to the finals was dumb long ago. You know what I'm saying? And you're just taking such a nonchalant response to what happened. It's just making me uncomfortable. Oh, we're gonna get both content.
With a mentality, but the dialogue around the league, the discourse around the league, they don't truly appreciate the journey sometimes of what goes on. Even the ones that don't work out, you can still see some beauty in the Sacramento Kings that didn't win the chip,
right?
Or your Phoenix Suns that didn't win the championship. Like it's if you really love the game of basketball, you can pull great things from all of that stuff, and that's what I tend to do with that Brooklyn situation. Is we had some fun times, we had some terrible times, but that's life. Like that's what makes you.
They took him out. That's life. They're not even mentioning Cam Thomas or how he could have been instrumental to help winning. They're not going to mention how Cam Thomas was just sitting on the bench, and part of the reason why we lost is because we didn't go to Cam Thomas on the bench. Part of the reason why we lost is because Nash wouldn't make any adjustments to help us play winning basketball with X's and O's. Part of the reason why we lost is because he didn't know when to call timeouts. He didn't know what plays to call. He didn't know what defense to have. He didn't know what to do besides trust players with the same play. I mean, KD was looking for Joe Harris, saying he was putting up bricks the entire time. You don't know to go away from Joe Harris in the playoffs because he's not showing you that he on that night, or maybe he got cold feet. All of the stuff that they could be coming clean about, being honest about, having a transparent. You say you love the Brooklyn Nets and you got love for KD, but you up here not giving us a real response. I'm about to tag KD, bro. This is unacceptable. I'm tagging Kevin Durant, bro. You gotta really be honest with Nets fans, bro. You're not keeping it all the way real with us, bro. Because y'all could have won. Why you ain't being honest about why you were wrong, Nash? Because you played Joe Harris when you should have went to the bench and gave somebody else a chance. Why you ain't saying that? Why you not doing that, Kevin Durant? Nah, bro, you like to respond to stuff on Twitter. Respond to that. The Nets fans don't deserve that. The Nets fans don't deserve that. We don't deserve for you to keep it real with us. Shout the player ones. Yeah, shout to KD, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Can Big Fan Breezy have a conversation Like, can you be honest about the chances y'all would have had if you played next to Cam Thomas? Could you be honest about your best running mate besides Curry is Cam Thomas and Westbrook, respectfully? Is Curry, Westbrook, and then Cam Thomas, man? Like, you look at the expectations you had with Devin Booker, y'all got your ass whipped. Like, stop it. You left us for Phoenix, and y'all ain't do shit. Keep it real, bro. I mean, like, hold on. Come. Yeah. Wow. Like, yeah, I just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Tweeted or X, I got at KD in a, conversation since I wasn't going at him. But I just tagged him, bro. Like, this interview ain't it, bro. No. And you answering for Nash just like you talking for him. Let him talk for himself. This the same thing Sean Marks used to do in the interviews. He used to talk for Steve Nash in the post-game not post-game interviews, in anytime they had a conference. You just was sitting next to him just the same way you doing now. Nash, you're supposed to be more vocal if you're gonna be a head coach. Nah, I'm not feeling this, man. I'm not feeling this at all.
What you not feeling, bro?
This fables to my table. They bringing
fables to the table.
They bringing fables to the table. Just pure utter disrespect for Nets fans. The way the whole handle of how they discuss losing as if, we don't, it's just like water to a duck in a pond. Like, really? Nets fans had a lot riding on this. Y'all came here and fucked up everything we had going on. Yeah, like y'all broke up our core because for you, whatever y'all vision was together, and y'all did us dirty. And this is what we get? A half-ass. Y'all ain't even apologize to the Nets fans.
See,
but you making excuses.
I might be about to make an excuse too, but bro, that's how winners are, bro. If you're a winner for real in life, when you lose, you don't hop on the loss. You learn from it and move on. You can't just stay stuck in the loss. So, but if you a nigga that's a loser, I feel like that's when you stay stuck in the loss forever and just like, oh my god, damn, what we could have did different.
Bro,
I feel like
no, Jay,
if you got a winner mentality, you move on after a loss.
Bro, hold on. Shout out to Leaf Diggy and moderator on this page. He sent the super chat. His handle youtube.com youtube.com/Leaf4788. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can find Leaf on the panel in about 5 minutes. Again, my thing is this, bro. I'm not asking them to sully kick cans down the street singing Negro spirituals. I'm not asking,
especially
for them
not Steve Nash.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is this is a podcast. This is not a post-game interview. Y'all in totally two different situations. It's not like you go back to the Brooklyn Nets after this interview and you go and Nash goes back to either one of them, same thing. And it's like the way they speak, the way they going about answering the questions, the attitude towards it, I don't like it. This is a real big opportunity for the Brooklyn Nets, and they spoiled it. And of course, they go.
But it was a real big opportunity for both of them too, though. Like, don't say it like it wasn't it was an opportunity for the Nets, but it was an opportunity for Kevin Durant to actually make a legacy in his own name. It was an opportunity for Steve Nash to start his coaching career. Like, they fumbled big ass opportunities on their own too. It's not like it's just us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
'Cause both of them things could have fucked up their legacies as players and coaches, you know what I mean? So it should mean something to them too.
But it the way they talk, where they are, I don't know if you was listening to the interview, the way
I
they
missed it, bro.
articulating it. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I didn't have this stance before I watched this.
Okay.
Now that I'm listening to them talk about what happened, I'm like disappointed. Like, y'all disrespected the Nets fans, and I didn't even hear them apologize to the Nets fans. All they talking about is, yo, Nash talk about I didn't get to coach the way I wanted to coach. Why not, Nash?
Yo, I said that. Yo, bro,
no, but
I told y'all.
Who's stopping him? Nobody's stopping him.
He's probably not trying to throw Marks under the bus.
What you mean throw Marks under the bus? Yo, you hired me, bro. You hired me to do the job. You gonna tell me how to do the job once I got the job? That ain't the way it worked.
Bro, I told y'all from jump, and that's just the way I felt.
Yeah.
Just the way I felt. I feel like they was letting Chat GPT coach the team. Like the coaches don't really get full autonomy to just do what they want to do, because I feel like it's people in the front office that's telling them, oh, the algorithms say that we should be doing this, or we should have players that's this size, and we should have players that shoot this many threes a game. Like,
bro, that's not coaching, bro. That means if
you want to keep your job,
no, bro.
If you want to keep your job, you got to do what the boss say. Just like the coaches got to.
Bro, like for instance, bro, what I'm saying is, do what the boss say. The boss ain't never did my job. It's one thing if the boss did my job. You understand me? It's one thing if he did my job. If Sean Marks was a head coach and he led a team to a championship and won a championship. And bro, no. You didn't never head coach Sean Marks. What do you mean listen to the boss? Yo, boss, you hired me to do the job. You ain't never did this job. I could see if he one of those GMs like, yo, listen, I'm gonna be the coach. No, but what I'm saying, Sean Marks is not going one of those GMs like, I'm gonna be the head coach. If I can't find a head coach, then I'm gonna be the head coach. That's Coach Popovich type shit. He was not doing that. He not that. So I'm saying that to say, if you're not going to step down and be the head coach in that situation, then you got to respect the head coach and what he say and the way he want to coach. If you getting in the way of what he's doing, you a problem. You should not be trying to do my job. Do your job so I can do my job. If you keep trying to tell me what to do with my job, that means you don't trust me to do my job. That means
I promise you.
Like, what are you doing? I can do the job.
13 million people that wish they could go to their job, go to work tomorrow and tell their boss what you just said.
Bro, no. This is different though, bro. Nash never said this shit in the post-game interview. He never said, oh, you tell him I didn't get to coach the way I wanted to coach. What's in front of Nash? Sean Marks? You trying to tell me you just listen to everything Sean Marks said? You don't got no rebuttals? No more. And let me say this: once you get fired as a head coach, that money is still guaranteed. You trying to tell me you can't let your nuts hang? You can't be like, no, listen, I heard what you said, but I don't think that's necessarily the best thing. This is how I feel. Da. You can't do that. The fuck you mean? You didn't get to coach the way you wanted the head coach. You gotta speak up. What you mean?
Yo, bro, we don't know that he didn't speak up. We don't know that, bro. You just don't. You sullying the man's name, and I've sullied his name enough.
Wow.
I've sullied his name enough. You know what I mean? So
that's not crazy,
bro.
I'm sullying his name,
bro. If I go to my boss and say, yo, bro, I don't feel we should be doing it like that. I feel like we should be taking way more mid-range shots, and they say, yeah, but we don't pay you to think that much. We got other people to think about that type of shit, and we pay you to go out there and do what we tell you to do. It's like, all right, what you gonna do? You can not do it, then they're gonna fire your ass. Like you gotta.
No, but what I'm saying, what I'm saying is right there in that space, you gotta say, yo, listen, respectfully, you never
And
been
then,
a head coach.
wait. The last thing, let me finish because I was trying to respond to what you said. You can't, like, if you what you said. Oh yeah, he ain't never said in a press conference, but you in the press conference, you still on the clock, and it's on camera, it's recorded. Like you can't just shit on your boss on camera, recorded.
So basically, that's what he's saying. Because who will be in the way of his coaching?
Right.
If you can't coach the way you want to coach, who else are we talking about? Is it Sean Marks or is it Joe Sile? Like, who's in the way of a head coach?
But
like,
maybe that's why he not saying it, because what's understood don't got to be explained. It's like, I'm telling you, I couldn't coach the way I wanted to coach, but I'm not going to throw them under the bus. But who the fuck else going to tell me not to coach the way I want to coach?
All right, hold on. We're going to finish the content, and then I'm going to throw the link in the chat. Hold on. Because we had a stalemate right now, bro.
That's what makes you.
I've been provided some perspective.
For the most, I mean,
yeah, and again, I'm more not. I feel like, you know what I'm saying. You hugging this situation. You know what I mean? Like you giving these guys a hug. You know what I mean? Like I'm not giving these guys a hug.
I'm trying to be realistic, bro.
Look. What I'm saying is, of course, there's, I guess, chain of command and you know where the power lays. We get that, the structure of it all, right? But if it's a situation where you the head coach, that means they gotta pause. You using your head. What do you mean they not? You talking about they don't pay you to think that much, nigga? What? I'm the head coach. The brain is in the head. That means I am the thinking, part of the situation. Why it ain't called the head? It's called the GM. That's the general manager. General, you doing general shit. You're not the head manager. Hold on, pause.
I'm the general crazy. Though. Remember who the general is, nigga. You a soldier, nigga. General, nigga.
Yo, but still, how you gonna undermine a head coach? Listen, the head coach is not telling the general manager not to do general shit. The head coach is not telling the owner to not own it the way he want to own it. But if the general manager is telling the head coach how to use his head, it sounds crazy.
Bro,
all right, let's just finish the content.
I feel you, and you're right, because if you hire a guy, I feel like you should trust his expertise.
Exactly.
You should trust his expertise, but it seems like that's not what been happening. And honestly, while he was on the team, I was telling y'all that I forgot who told me that, but an insider was telling me that algorithms and ChatGPT was coaching the team. That's the way that they was figuring out who's taking the most shots, how many shots people should take per game, where people should be taking shots from. So they was probably making Nash draw up plays to do those specific things.
All right, man. Hold on. Yo, subscribe to This Is JTV. You got a different show coming on tonight at 9 p.m., I believe. And
it's a different world. Sometimes that's why I have a different opinion. I mean,
which is great, which is welcome. But at the same time, I still feel like explain that too, Steve Nash. Explain, call his name out. Yeah, Sean, look in the camera. Yeah, Sean Marks.
You just said they still paying him, right? They still paying him. He's still trying to keep that relationship good. Because look, Pete, because this is why we did it's all about relationships. Because let's say after they stop paying him for his coaching job, maybe they'll give him a job in the front office somewhere as an assistant coach or something. So you keep those relationships good. You start bashing them on TV, then they never gonna hire you again.
No. But what I'm saying is, okay, now I hear you. They're not just doing this for the fans, for us to respond. They know that Sean Marks gonna watch this interview. Josiah gonna watch this interview. They know those guys are watching the interview. So my thing is, they, kind of showing me that as a fan watching it, that they answering the questions knowing Sean Marks and Josiah is watching it. So
that's for being media trained, man.
All right, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what else they saying.
If I'm being honest, we had more good times than that. Even the times when it was me.
What you mean you had more good times than that? See, this is the shit. This is why I keep stopping it, bro. They keep making me mad, bro. It's not me. It's them. They just say stuff that make me mad, bro. Like that ass. Like, what do you mean good times, bro? You didn't have good times. You told us good fight, and then you left the team. What good times? We was 21-9 out of 30 games when you was with the rookies and you fronted on us. You ain't want to lead the rookies, and you went to another team and then you ain't do work. Even if you play good individually at this point, is that what you doing with your career? No, you trying to compete for a championship. You should stay. Oh, better said, you would have had a better chance at getting further next to Cam Thomas. Y'all think it's a game. Y'all could put Cam Thomas next to KD and it's serious. KD didn't believe in Cam Thomas, man. That's just sad. That shit's sad, bro. I know you got him part of the team, but talk that shit, KD. I tweeted you, bro. Come defend this shit, man. Why you ain't defending how you could have been a great duo next to Cam Thomas, man? All right, let me get through the content, man, because this shit crazy, bro. Like,
and 4 two-way, like it was fun to me. Like
we were successful.
Like, cause we locked in as a family, just us for that little 48 minutes, and like a lot of those games, like.
What do you mean he was successful? You mean because of the whopping $8 million he was making as a head coach, one of the top paid head coaches? You were successful financially, but we wasn't successful.
Well, he was probably feel like he was successful because if you look at it, I'm sure he got a better coaching win percentage than Jacques Vaughn do, like career. And Jacques Vaughn, look, Pete, Jacques Vaughn was a head coach before he was ever a head coach, and ended up being his assistant coach, and then was his replacement. But Steve Nash had winning seasons, even though I feel like I could have had winning seasons with KD, Kyrie, and Harden on my team. But on paper, besides his playoff record, it's probably not that bad.
All right, let's just get to the concept.
Shit, I could have won games with them niggas on my team, though, so I don't think that's saying much, but the stats is the stats.
Like, you know, high pressure games, late games. I'm sure those, you know, even me, I learned from, but those young guys took a lot from that too. So I look at the season like that a lot. Of course, we want to win and go to chips, but it's little small moments that I can appreciate throughout a year, even though we don't add up to winning. And a lot of people don't understand that, but we that shit is in our DNA and our blood. Like, we look at the game of ball like that.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up not being a success, quote unquote, but it's a great experience.
Man, come on, man.
What you mean? But you get the quotation marks. It wasn't no success. What you talking about? You see why they be making me mad, bro? Like, we thought the quotation marks talking about wasn't success. So you got to be talking about the money. Bro, it's insulting, bro.
He's talking about life, man. Like,
you heard talking about life.
You heard KD, man. He said as a team, it was moments that they had where they was.
Bro. We need to get this out of the way right now, bro, because
this shit's unacceptable.
all this interview is gonna do. I knew it was gonna piss Nets fans off. No Nets fan got no business watching this shit, bro, because all it's gonna do is just piss niggas off.
Every Nets fans is watching this.
For what, bro? I don't want to watch a fib fest between these two niggas, man. Fuck out of here. These are like, bro, everything that's gonna come out their mouth is fib, bro. That's why you kept pausing it every 2 seconds, bro, getting pissed off. Now you know how I feel.
I thought they was gonna give some answers to the hard hitting questions.
They wasn't gonna give them answers for the hard hitting questions. Listen, they was gonna fib their way out.
No,
it's a fib session.
No, that's what they did. Part one, they left a whole cliffhanger. Son, Brooklyn. So I waited for part two. Then part two come out. They only talk about it. I would have gave this. I thought that we deserved 40 minutes. I thought the whole entire show should have been about how they should have did this, how they should have did that, how they could. KD, why you couldn't say, why you didn't take out Joe Harris? He was trash. He threw Dorian Finney-Smith under the bus. Why you can't say that shit about Joe Harris?
That shit is hilarious that they teammates now, right?
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
That shit is hilarious. That shit gonna be funny.
Them niggas is teammates again. Yep.
First day gonna have to swing him the ball. He gonna have to swing
first
him the
day in the
ball.
locker room.
Now
he
you gonna have to swing a nigga the ball because they paid him 4 years, $50 million. Now look at you, dummy.
And the funny shit is, I know they recorded this before they was ever teammates. You know what I mean? So he ain't expect for that. He said because Dorian Finney-Smith was on LeBron team at that time. So he's like, yeah, you got to swing the ball. You need to be taking a shot, not a nigga like Dorian Finney-Smith, and now he on your team.
Right, but see, that's what I'm saying. So, like, now it's going to, like, come on, I want to hear that bullshit about how it's going to be some heroic shit, and then they're going to be buddies if he knocked down a three. Man, fuck all that. Like, all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, bro, they mentioned how Joe Harris played bad and he should have got benched. How Cam Thomas ain't getting no minutes and he got minutes. How all of these different scenarios on how things could have been different. You got Steve Nash throwing Sean Marks under the bus, allegedly, saying that he didn't get to coach the way he wanted to coach. Why not, Steve Nash? At least, if you're not going to tell us, at least say what you wanted to do. If this is a podcast, you could at least say, this is what I wanted to do. When I was in Phoenix, this is how I was doing it, whoop-de-whoop. Yada, yada, yada. You ain't say none of that shit. You was just like, I ain't get to coach the way I wanted to coach, but it was a success, quotation marks. What the fuck is that? Like, bro, like, no, bro, this shit was underwhelming, and I frown upon it.
I want to go back to something that Jay was saying, bro, because not like the Chat GPT shit, having that shit coach the team, bro. I think that shit is 100,000% true. They thought they could just have this shit on autopilot and let it go. I strongly believe that especially when we got Harden. When we got Harden, bro, like the nigga, even though the nigga was out of shape and then he got back in shape like in 2 weeks, he took off a fat suit and started putting up 20-point triple doubles and 10 assist games, bro. We honestly thought, like everybody during that time, thought we could just have this shit on autopilot, and I did too. Like the way we was murdering teams, bro. Like if you seen the way that offense was,
I never know how.
If you seen the way that offense looked, my nigga, with them three niggas, bro, niggas thought that shit was on auto fucking pilot. Nothing could stop them three niggas.
No, first and foremost, we talking about 16 games out of 4 seasons. I'm not
don't matter.
No, yes, it fucking do matter.
No, it don't.
4, 6, bro. I'm not arguing with you, bro. I'm gonna disagree.
It do matter because
games out.
Last night we
it do matter because of the result, bro.
Last night we was talking about Carmelo.
I'm talking about at the time. That's what I'm talking about.
Y'all said Carmelo was on the Knicks for 7 seasons, and he ain't getting no shit, and they still be praising him. KD was only on the team for 4 seasons, and on top of that, one of the seasons he didn't even play.
That's a fact.
What I'm saying is it's a difference from having players actually play basketball together, and on paper. They were on paper more than they play basketball together.
Listen, y'all
one of the seasons was a half a season. It wasn't even a whole season.
It wasn't even a whole season. But basically, y'all making my point. What I'm trying to tell you, y'all making my point. Basically, what I'm trying to tell y'all, everybody in that front office, everybody on that coaching staff, everybody that was involved in hiring that coaching staff with Steve Nash and all them niggas, thought that they can have that shit on autopilot. That's what they thought. They thought it in their mind. Of course, they was wrong for that. We found out all these years later that it was wrong.
No, nigga, we knew then. We knew, bro. I'm not saying we found it out all those years after. Nigga, I told them they was wrong for getting Harden. I told them they was wrong. This is how I'm vlogging before you met me. I'm vlogging. They wrong for getting Harden. I'm vlogging. They wrong for breaking up the core. I'm vlogging. They wrong for giving Jordan minutes over Jared Allen. What the fuck is he? And on top of that, like, bro, what I'm trying to hold on, and I'll say this last part. Me watching the game, learning how Karis LeVert could be a facilitator sometimes. He's not really a big scorer, but he kind of like do it all. You know what I'm saying? And then Spencer Dinwiddie, he could like on some ISO shit. You couldn't stay in front of him, bro. Like he was mean, bro. He was mean. And what I'm saying that to say, Kenny Atkinson orchestrated a lot of that, and they just took that away. Like Nash could do what Kenny Atkinson could do. I vlogged against it then because when I went and did my research, I found out how he got the job. This nigga was like he was helping KD in practice. Like what? That's it. That's the only thing you had on your resume, bro.
All I'm listen. All I'm gonna say is this. All I'm gonna say is this, bro. Like in the case of Cam Thomas, just going back to his rookie year, and I'm looking at game after game after game, bro. Like I'm looking at the month of fucking February. We was really set. Like Cam Thomas was set up to fail from the beginning. He was, bro. Like I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, where the fuck is all of these losses coming from, bro? Like, and this nigga was putting up 30, 20, 27, 22, 21, 20, 25. I'm like, what the hell was going on at this time, bro? Like during
Bro,
this 21-22 season, bro. Like I'm confused.
Bro, they
because
had no reason for the DNPs for Cam Thomas.
I'm not talking about the DNPs. I'm talking about the first season, his actual rookie season. He was getting minutes. He was getting a stretch of minutes, bro, from January to February in his rookie year, bro. Like, and I'm looking at these lineups. He was set up to fail from the beginning. He really was, bro. Like we really, bro. Like it's nobody in that front office gave a damn. Nobody, bro. Like we're putting
I don't. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all about the Chat GPT. Y'all ain't never seen the movie Moneyball before. The baseball movie.
Yeah, I seen that movie, the baseball movie. Well, I think they was coaching the Oakland A's or some shit.
Yes. Now, when I say Chat GPT coaching the team, I don't really mean Chat GPT. I mean that they got dudes that's doing that. That's just going through strictly analytics and playing strictly by analytics. And Cam Thomas, the analytics don't show you what you see when you watch him play. Now, I mean, they doing shit straight off the box score plus minus, straight off of how many threes other teams are shooting that are winning. All of those algorithm type shits, and that's what they're using to coach the team. And they're going to the coaches and telling them, this is the type of shit that we want to play and we want to do. Can you build a team within this type of system? Because that's what they're just looking at whatever the leading NBA trends are and trying to make everything on the team the leading NBA trend.
Yo, Jay, that's not a GM job. Nigga, I looked at what a GM supposed to do. That ain't his job. Bruh, you supposed to handle the free agent contracts. I'm being serious. This is their real job. The GM supposed to handle the contracts, and that's the main part of their job. They talk about the scouting and this and that, but that's more.
So what does the governor do? Because remember, he's that too. What does the governor of the team do?
Ain't he the president of basketball operations? That shit. Yeah.
Bruh, well, I know he's the governor of the team and he's a GM. So.
President of basketball operations. Yeah.
I mean, he governed it. Even if he governs it, my thing is Sean Marks himself have any head coach experience. For Steve Nash to come out his face and say they stopped me from coaching the way I want, and KD second that and say, yeah, you didn't get to implement the Steve Nash that we know. Why not? What did Sean Marks say to you for you not to coach?
I'm telling you what he said, nigga.
Yo, bro, listen, but what I'm saying is,
and that's the same thing they're saying to Jordy Fernandez right now.
Listen, this is what I'm saying, bro. And so what? Jordy Fernandez got to have some type of pushback too. Like, why you just going there? Listen, yes, sir. That's your job.
So you telling me? So you telling me that you think Jordy Fernandez wants to shoot 55 threes a game the same way Jacques Vaughn said he wanted to shoot 55 threes a game? No, that's from them.
That's wrong. They wrong.
Because if it's going from one coach to another coach, that's not. They don't got the same brain. That's coming from the nigga above them.
Exactly.
They wrong for that, but they wrong for that. Listen, if that's not winning basketball. When you look at how the championship is won, it's not always because the team is knocking down the most three-pointers. Sometimes, and again, my whole point is that taking away the glory that you get from and ones, the old-fashioned way to get the three-pointer is taken away from the game, taken away from the entertainment, taken away from the fans. It's disrespectful. To make it seem like it's only one way to score a three-point shot in this league is disgusting. Go to the basket, get a and one. That's a three-pointer too. That's a three-pointer.
You gotta have the players on your roster that can consistently do that.
Man, listen, no, that's not what Jay is saying. Jay is saying this is the way, yada yada yada. bro. Do you want a 3-point play? Go to the fucking basket. That's what I'm saying. That's the old-fashioned way. That's the way, man.
I'm cool, and to harp on that point, that you made.
Hold on. Let me say this. Hold on. No, before I finish, the reason why I'm saying this, before this team even got to Brooklyn, the whole style of New York basketball, Brooklyn basketball, is having a good handle, guard play, crossing somebody up and getting to the basket. And niggas was yelling and one all the time. And one, nigga, even if they wasn't taking the free.
They came out with and one mixtape, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Mixtape stuff was there, you know.
And one is the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It need to be a hold on. It need to be an and one revolution. The new 3-pointers the Brooklyn Nets should be looking for is and ones.
We need players that's gonna force the issue for that to happen, bro. Like, and I'm gonna ask you again. Do you want Allen Iverson or do you want Vince Carter?
No, I'm not saying that, bro.
I'm asking a question. Do you want AI or Vince?
I'm not agreeing with you, bro. I'm not.
It ain't nothing. It's a question, nigga. It's not for you to agree with. Do you want AI or Vince?
Bro, none of those players, we got Vince. He part of the media. That's realistically what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
God, this nigga here, bro.
Bro, and AI is not on the team, bro. Like, what do you mean? I'm telling you the truth.
In terms of style of play, do you want AI or Vince?
You're not listening, bro. Cam Thomas get to the foul line the best on the Brooklyn Nets. He can get and 1 point. I'm not answering that question, bro. I'm talking to you about basketball. I'm talking to you about basketball, bro.
But
Cam Thomas gets to the foul line.
You're not talking to me about basketball. You're talking to me about Cam Thomas as usual. And I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro, what's the difference between gameplays? You not listening, bro. Like this shit is crazy. We go back and forth every day, and you trying to hold Cam Thomas point all day. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm trying to get you to. I'm trying to get you to see my point. That's all.
You're not listening, but you're not listening. You do talking, but you don't. My point is that Cam Thomas gets to the foul line, and then he gets the most and ones on this team. That's the point. Nothing else. So I don't know what you're talking about, Vince Carter and Allen Iverson, bro. Like I'm not jacking that shit.
Like all I'm talking about is style of plays, bro. That's all I'm talking about. You keep
trying to contrast Allen Iverson to Cam Thomas, but then who is Vince Carter? Who you talking about?
My nigga, we was talking about this shit last night, bro. Now I already know.
Who's Vince Carter? Who's Vince Carter in the comparison?
I already know we ain't gonna get him. But like every time we played the nigga, Kuminga was looking like Vince Carter on that court.
Vince Carter. You would say. So look, he's not saying that that's who these players are, but he's saying style of play, dribble to the rim, guard,
bro.
Like
AI. This is what I'm saying is
get at the basket.
What I'm saying is I'm not giving Kuminga Vince Carter, bro. Like
my nigga, go watch the nigga jump. Go watch the nigga playing contact, bro.
I think he's just talking about style of play, not caliber of play.
Bro, what I'm saying is I don't exclude Cam Thomas for Kuminga. They talk about Kuminga, then giving him $30 million. Like, nigga, what?
Who giving him $30 million?
Hold on. Let me finish. Bro, hold on. Let me finish. This is what I'm hearing around his name. They talking about signing him instead of Cam Thomas. I seen Next Press put it on X. I said no to him. I'm saying no to you. I'm telling you that
I'm not telling us to sign the nigga.
Listen. What I'm saying is when it comes to either or, that's what I'm hearing. They saying either or. Like, no, I'm not saying either or. I'm saying if you're gonna add Kuminga, but you don't have to subtract Cam Thomas because you added Kuminga. Listen, that's what I'm trying to say. Y'all trying to make
there's a misunderstanding going on, bro. I'm not saying that neither, bro. We on the same page when it comes to that. All I'm saying is, bro, like if this organization really values Cam Thomas like that, the deal would have been done already. That's number one.
Bro, I'm not talking about. I gave it to y'all already. I already told y'all on the business side, Cam Thomas doesn't have that advantage. I already said that. All I said was I got to but y'all keep harping on that after I already gave it to y'all. All I said is when it comes down to the basketball side, he's the best fit for these rookies. He is. He's better.
Don't know that.
In my opinion, I'll stand on my square and say that. I'll stand on my square by myself.
I told y'all earlier in the season that they were sitting him out of games so they could lowball him at the end of the year, and I thought that was fucked up when I said it. And that shit is fucked up. because they didn't let him play enough to increase his value. And it's like, yeah, now what you gonna do? And it's like that's fucked up.
Yeah,
it is fucked up.
It is especially if the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm gonna say this because again I'm a fan, but I'm not loyal to the Brooklyn Nets to a fault. You know, like it's one thing to how you say appeal to the international fan base, but y'all getting fucking ridiculous. If y'all gonna just make it seem like all of these national players don't mean nothing unless they, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like I don't get how y'all could kind of just value the international player over the national player.
Cam was born in Japan. Cam was born in Japan. He international.
Like he international too.
Yeah,
exactly. So that was said for under force reasons. Like I'll be honest with you, bro. Like listen, I know what you're talking about, but them harping over and reaching out like the international fan base, bro. Like I don't really got a problem with as long as this shit lead to results, bro. Like be honest with you, it's a new regime.
But what I'm saying, look, Leaf, there's nothing that these new players is supposed to do so awesome that Cam Thomas can't be a part of.
Stop
it.
Because Diego Demen is a top 10 pick, my nigga. Like, because if he don't show out, my nigga, you gonna be the first nigga on him.
Bro, I'm not going to be the first nigga on him, bro. I expect him to play and develop, bro. I expect him to learn how to be a point forward and a point guard. I think he's going to learn how to do both this season. That's what they're looking for out of Diego Demen. I think they're going to want him to play inside the three-point line. They're going to need him to play with his back to the basket. Jawan Howard might be training him too.
That's what you think?
No.
Yes.
That's a crazy.
And yo, you know, you big optimism, you my nigga. But that's what you think, or that's what you want?
No, I'm thinking that's what I want them to do.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's exactly what it is.
You know that's not what they about to do with him, bro. They about to develop his 3-point shot, have him push the pace. It ain't no back to the basket, no inside the 3-point line. He's going to be passing the ball fast like Ben Simmons was, and then they doing pick and rolls, and they going to have him shooting
DHOs, dribble handoffs, and all of that shit, like basic shit. If he could prove that he could do other shit in between, then they'll let him do it. But it depends on what level, to the degree that he's doing it, bro. If he could prove that he half of what Luke is, then they'll let him do half of that shit that you was talking about.
Cause look, and not to say this, but I would like to see some of that shit that you talk about. But ain't nothing that they done recently made me think that any of that shit about to happen.
Exactly.
I would love to see.
Yeah, but bro, what I'm saying is that's why we here, bro. That's why we Nets fans, we the best fans.
They want high fly and they want run and gun. If you put your back to the basket, you stopping the clock. They want 3-second offense. How you putting your back to the basket in 3 seconds?
Listen, what I'm saying is don't be one dimensional. Of course, you're gonna go in with your bread and butter, but you gotta be able to adjust.
Like, did you see what KD was talking about? My bad, not to cut you off one more time, but when KD was talking about, oh, you see how Tyrese play? Love the way Tyrese play. Soon as he being the best point guard, because soon as he get the ball, he don't even dribble the ball up the court. He just kick it up the court every time. He kick it up, and then it puts pressure on the defense because somebody about to go. That's what the Nets want too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Breezy.
I know what they're doing. They're trying to get the defense to play on their back foot. Because if you could get them to turn their hip on defense over and over, it's easy to score the ball, especially if you're putting them in one-on-one situations. I get them playing fast. I get the recipe coming from Jason Kidd and pushing the ball. That was the recipe, bro. Jason Kidd would grab the rebound and push the pace. He'd be the fastest one down court. They want that same thing from Diego and Nola. I get it. But at the end of the day, that's one part of the offense. If y'all only gonna have one basketball action, that one trick pony shit don't help you to a championship in the NBA. It don't, bro. You got to be able to do more than that one thing, bro.
But I think that's more. I think that's more the fast break situation. Yeah, you do. You absolutely right. You do got to do more than that.
You watch Atlanta. Absolutely right. I mean, you watch Indiana, bro. They try to make every play into a fast break. That's what they try to do.
The best teams win. They lead in that stat, that transition points.
Right.
They lead in that stat, bro.
And Indiana was damn close to winning it all, bro. Like, had it not been for one fucking injury, bro. So we had them niggas would have won a championship instead of OKC. The flavor of the year would have been fast break offense, 3-second offense. I guarantee you it would have been.
But see,
No, it's
all
still
I'm
going to be
saying
some of
is
that next season,
that's
bro.
what
Even though Halliburton missing the whole entire
our
season.
front office is in love with, and that's what
Yep.
they trying to recreate.
Indiana
Even though it
Pacers.
hasn't worked thus far,
So
that's
you
what they're
what?
trying to
All right,
recreate.
so the question is, Breeze, do Cam Thomas really fit this style of offense? Like, does he?
Yes.
I know you saying that he fits. You know what I'm saying? He should be alongside the young players. But when you think about what's being said, you ask yourself, does Cam really fit in with moving the ball this quick, running down court this quick? You know what I'm saying? Not being a ball stopper. Does he fit this offense?
And
Yes.
remember, y'all just said
Yes.
said that they trying to make Cam Thomas
Listen.
dribble less. Why are they trying
what
to
I'm
make
saying-
him dribble less so he could fit in with this?
Right. And again, my thing is, and I'm saying this because all of these players are unproven. The system is bigger than the player. So even me, I'm saying that. And we got Jordy Fernandez to implement his style of basketball. That being said, if it is a push pace offense, I think Cam Thomas fits right in. Cam Thomas, you got to realize these players that do ISO and score the ball, they be wanting those easy buckets, bro. That fast break is either they looking at, if you're a scorer that like to put points up, you looking at it like, I'm gonna either get to the free throw line or I'm gonna score, or both.
But you're gonna have to run. But you're gonna have to run a lot, and ain't gonna be no standing and waiting for no ISO shit. That's what we're trying to tell you,
bro. I already explained that, or I already know that, bro. Stop talking to me like I don't know that. I'm telling you, I know that, and yes, he's that kind of player. Ice just asked me that direct question. Yes, he can do that, bro. I don't know how many times I've seen it with him and Ed Sumner. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it before, bro. I've seen it with him and DDJ. I've seen it. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm speaking off a hypothetical. I'm speaking off of actual, my net fan eyes actually seen the game. So again, man, respect my handle, man. I know what I'm
those situations, Breezy had a lot of ISO situations. And I mean,
I'm not talking about that. I'm not.
No, hold on. Huh? He had a lot of ISO situations, right? But Cam got better at the catch and shoot, like we talked about before. That was the first thing he was getting better at, was catch and shoot. So Jordy realizes that the less he dribbles, the better he is, right? And I'm not. That's why I asked the question. It's not that I don't think Cam don't fit in, but how? You know what I'm saying? How does he fit in? You know what I'm saying? He got to catch and shoot more. 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, you know what I'm saying? At the max is probably what he needs, you know what I'm saying? They're going to need him to do. And I think he's capable of doing that, you know what I'm saying? But
bro, I never seen a teammate he uncomfortable next to, bro. This is why I be like, no, y'all dancing, bro. Y'all doing the bachata.
Nah,
y'all doing the bachata right now, bro.
I'm new to the conversation. I'm trying to get in the convo,
bro. Oh my god.
Bro, I'm not. Listen, Ice, I'm with you in the conversation, but the bachata is, you know, all of these soliloquies around it. Name one player he didn't play next to that he didn't do well.
Nah, it's not that. I'm trying to get you to realize that a lot of his buckets was ISO buckets, but on the flip side of that, he does well catch and shoot. You know what I'm saying, as well.
Ice.
But
Ice, you
Cam
know
is
why?
an ISO bucket scorer.
Ice, you know why I get so mad? Because y'all making it seem like it's always Cam Thomas that got to get acclimated. No,
not Breezy.
Go ahead.
He's the only one that's not on the roster right now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He's the only one that's not on the roster. I want Cam back on the team, right? But he's in a bad situation.
What I'm saying is y'all confusing the business with the basketball. That's what I'm saying.
No, because it goes along with basketball too. It goes along because you got to realize when we watch Cam, if you go turn on like I did with Jay, turn on Cam Thomas, you're gonna see him a lot of isolation buckets, bro. A lot of tween, a lot of tween step backs, a lot of, you know what I'm saying, mid-range jumpers is nonstop isolation buckets. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked that question, even though I know he could do other things, but you know what I'm saying? That's why I asked that question and how much he's gonna have to cut down the isolation buckets.
But what I'm saying is, again, even if y'all will, right, which I still stand on my square, I feel like he can push the pace. And on top of that, when it comes down to that's one part of the offense. It's going to come a time where it got to be half court offense. And he is he's the best half court player we got. Facts. And when it come down to the pick and roll, he could run the pick and roll with any of those players. He could run it with Jaeger. He could run with any player on the team. So he could run a pick and roll. He could push.
We don't know that.
Push, bro. That's my opinion, bro. I don't need you to ad lib, bro. This is my opinion because of what I've seen him do in the past with every other teammate. And again, that's the coach's fault. Steve Nash and Jordy Finnan. I mean, all the other who is it? Jock Vaughn. It's their fault for putting him in situations where they're not setting screens and pick and rolls for Cam Thomas. That's on them for putting Cam Thomas in the corner to play until the play break down to 13 seconds or left. That's not on Cam Thomas. That's them. I'm watching the game, watching it through the lens of Cam Thomas to see what they're actually doing with him on the floor. They was disrespecting him, not making him a first option, not making him a second option. He was the third or fourth option in the play. And the play was always the same. He get the ball all the way on the top of the 3-point line. Bro, like I'm actually watching the game. And what I'm saying is they making it seem like it's always Cam Thomas that got to get acclimated to these other players. No, these players that we have not seen play NBA basketball have to get acclimated to the NBA and the players inside of the NBA. And one of those players is Cam Thomas. That's just the facts of it. It's the other way around. Y'all making this, and again, the only reason why we here is because of the business. Like I said, I got nothing, you know what I'm saying, to push back on that. I get everything that y'all saying with the soliloquy. But the basketball side,
realistically, Cam Thomas is not a big enough player right now to dictate the system, and the system that they want to run is not Cam Thomas's strong suits.
Facts.
That's what I'm about to say. It's not about the players coming in. I gotta adjust to them, right? It's like Jay said, it's the system. You know what I'm saying? Like
what you mean strong suits? Who's a better shooter that's coming in right now than Cam Thomas? Drake Powell? Who?
Well, if you're talking about shooter, let's talk about specifically catch and shoot, because that's what they're looking for.
Okay.
So I don't know. Y'all can tell me the answer, but they're looking for the catch and shoot type shooters and slashers.
MPJ. But MPJ shoots better than
MPJ is a way better catch and shoot player than anybody we got.
What about Terrence Mann? Is he a catch and shoot guy too?
Terrence Mann is more of an athlete. He's somebody that's gonna get out on the
slasher, somebody that's gonna cut when it ain't nobody open and then get
exactly.
Yeah.
See, but like you got to look at the people, the way that they want to play, and the way they keep saying. Because look, last year they kept saying they wanted to play fast, but we was last in pace, so they wasn't doing it right. If that's what they were saying that they wanted to do,
and now they drafted 3-point guards, so like they trying to go in that direction. They drafted 3 pass heavy players and 3 players that's known for moving the ball. So now they're trying to move more in that direction.
Let me ask you this: all of these pass happy players, y'all don't want them to be pass happy to a player that want to score? Cam Thomas is score happy. Why
you keep saying it like we against Cam and you just the only one up here for Cam? Like we with you, bro.
Which is crazy to me. Which is crazy to me, bro. Like because like the thing is, what you telling us, bro? Like you want Cam Thomas to get more quote unquote grenades. That's what you're telling us, bro. Like we want him to be in more sets.
I didn't say that. I never said that.
Of course you didn't say it, my nigga. But at the same time, bro,
he's saying. He's saying he wants them to draw plays up for Cam Thomas strong suits, but it goes completely opposite. It go completely opposite from what they trying to do, I think. Because you said you want him to be able to get the ball in space and go to work like he can, which
I'm saying that when they try to double Cam Thomas on top of the 3-point line right after he pass half court, you got Yeager to pass it to, Nolan to pass it to. If you got Nolan on the floor, Cam Thomas, you got Nolan bringing the ball up. So Cam Thomas not even getting the double team. He, in my opinion, playing off ball. Yeager on the floor with him. He again playing off ball. They playing Cam Thomas in situations where it is his strong suit to catch and shoot. So or pump fake and get to the basket. Y'all know I was asking that from Noah Clowney, but just bringing it to the conversation of pump fake and getting to the basket from Noah Clowney to Cam Thomas, that's easy for Cam Thomas. I seen him with a game winner once KD passed it to him versus the Spurs do it. Now I'm saying all I have to say, these players, in my opinion, align with Cam Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Being a better player. I don't think they hurt Cam Thomas. I just think that at the end of the day, if they don't value him, I'm not going to, in these times, and you know what I'm saying, pretend like I don't and see what he could do with these rookies. I do. I don't never vlog like I know what the Brooklyn Nets are going to do. I just vlog about what I want to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the misunderstanding with me to the fans sometimes. Like, I don't know what the Brooklyn Nets is fitting to do, and I don't agree with everything that they be doing. Just
But you
because
gotta
I'm a
watch
fan
what
of
they
the team,
doing to predict what they about to do. Like you gotta watch the move that they made because one plus one equals two every time.
bro, I don't want them to. My thing is not to always try to predict what they do. My thing is to say what I want to happen. So maybe they hear the podcast or enough fans say what I'm saying and what I want to happen. It's like we want to happen as Nets fans. Like, I'm just trying to give the Nets fans a voice because I think sometimes that the front office should listen to the Nets fans. It's not for me to predict. I don't vlog so I can predict what Sean Marks and Joe Tsai going to do. That's not what I vlog. That's not my content. You feel what I'm saying? So I said all that to say that, bro.
No, I feel you.
We
But
got Dante.
I just don't be liking to be disappointed because they not doing what I want them to do. Like I just be trying to figure out what's really behind this move. What's the method to y'all madness? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man, but I'm gonna say this. We're gonna go to Reeves and Scott, stay on the panel. I'm about to motivate in a little bit. Y'all care to add to this conversation? Scott, just shout your channel out, Scott, and then we're gonna get to the conversation.
Chop cheese break. It's
Scott,
about lunchtime anyway, you know what I mean? So
true. Dante, you there?
What's good with you, bro?
Chilling, man. We just talking basketball, man. What you think about the rookies? You think the Brooklyn Nets should start fresh with just these rookies and move on from Cam Thomas, or you think he'll be good with the rookies?
I mean, me personally, dog, I think they should stick with Cam Thomas because Cam Thomas has yet to um unleash his true potential. So I don't think they should get rid of Cam Thomas because Cam Thomas has a lot of upside left. We have yet to see what the true Cam Thomas really look like. So I think they should stick with Cam Thomas, develop the rookies, build around that core, and I'm very optimistic to see what the Brooklyn Nets do and the direction that they're going in. So I think that Cam Thomas should remain a Brooklyn Net.
Nah, that's what's up. What's good with you though, man? You wanted to talk about anything specific?
I mean, whatever you got going on.
Nah, like
I'm with it.
the other part of the show where we talk. Did you see the part? Was you here when they was talking about the where we played the clip to Nash and KD and Bron talking about when they was in Brooklyn?
I mean, I heard some of it, but I just got in. To be fair, if Kevin Durant told that was behind the line, the Brooklyn Nets should have won the championship that year. Because what happened 4 years ago, the Brooklyn Nets was matching the Milwaukee Bucks in games 1 and 2.
Word. Yeah, we won. We was up 2-0 going into Milwaukee. I remember that thing. Kyrie got hurt. She was crazy, man.
And James Harden was playing on one leg too, and a hamstring.
Yeah, they spoke on that too, but I just felt like it was a lot unsaid, man. I wasn't happy with that interview. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro, but it's all good though. I ain't tripping. Hold on. We gonna go to Scott real quick and feedback. Yo, Scott, you back? Yeah, you probably on mute, Scott. Shout out to Urban K. Shout out to Easy. I see you in the chat. All right, Scott back. Shout out to Claude. I see y'all. What up, Scott? Talk to us.
Not much. How y'all been? How's everybody?
Yeah.
We good. I'm just trying to figure out if the fans want to see Cam Thomas with the rookies or not. What you think?
Yeah. I think, like I said, even be last year, I said the same thing. I said it's a terrible time for a rebuild, knowing that this guy need to show what he can do. and that and that came back now to bite him. As far as his contract is concerned, what people see and how people see him. But yeah, he needs the opportunity to play. He needs to show what he can do, and with a team that's trying to win, not trying to lose.
Nah, facts, man. Shout your channel out, Scott.
Yeah, you can.
Well, according to Sean Marks, they never put any limitations on their players.
Yeah, but they did wanted to, when they took Schroeder off the team, they showed what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apartment. You can reach me at Apartment Gamer and more on YouTube, and Apartment Gamer 1 on X.
But shout your channel out though, for real though. I interrupted you. My bad, bro.
Yeah. I just said it. You can reach me at Apartment Gamer and more on YouTube, and Apartment Gamer X1 on X.
All right, that's what's up. Yeah, man. Listen, man. I said everything I wanted to say, and the whole thing with SGA and Poalo. I just wanted to say to that, if y'all want to talk about that, is that it makes sense to pay them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hear me always say
money.
Yeah.
You gotta play the fucking Ted DiBiase song for them niggas.
It makes sense for SGA to get paid by the Thunder. It makes sense for Poalo to get paid. I'm saying by Orlando Magic. You know what I mean? So
I ain't gonna lie, them niggas is all in.
So again, like I'm not saying I wanted Cam Thomas I wanted Brooklyn Nets to do that with Cam Thomas. I'm not saying that. But again, it's nice to see that a franchise knows what they have and believes in the potential of their.
You wanted Cam Thomas to get 4 years, $100 million.
Nah, but hold on, Orlando. I like what they did because in the early part of Paolo's career, they trying to build a championship team. You feel what I'm saying? They're not wasting no time. They see the potential around them, and they're making a lot of moves to try to compete now. You know what I'm saying? I know they lost, but remember that I think they were that year that the Celtics won in the regular season. They was beating the Celtics. I think stuff like that had them build the confidence, and then they seeing the Celtics not going to be, a good team next year. Like they looking at it like, yo, if we was going to steal a championship, they might be some swiper, no swiping type shit in the East. Like the Orlando Magic is really trying to, what I'm saying?
Them niggas is basically going to be the monkey from Dora.
How much did Shea get?
Shea got 5 years, 285.
I was surprised. I feel like that. How come Shea didn't get more than Jaylen Brown?
Because he didn't get drafted to OKC. That's why. So they had to lower it a little bit, but he did win Finals MVP and regular season MVP and a scoring title, and he was an All NBA the last 3 years. So 4 years,
honestly,
285.
the only reason I'm asking, even though that's a whole lot of goddamn money, still, I just was thinking after Tatum and Brown contracts was going to go up even more and more.
Right.
It seemed like it's leveling out or going down. I don't know.
It seemed like it's gonna level out compared to SGA contract. I will say this: the last year SGA contract that he just signed, he will be getting paid $80 million in 1 year. And I think on the last year of Tatum contract, he's gonna be getting paid $71 million. But I don't think the Celtics is gonna keep Jaylen Brown for another year. So that's just my opinion.
$1 million a game is crazy.
Yeah,
nigga. Crazy ain't the word, bro. That shit is. You should not be in chapter 9 at all, my nigga. Like, yo, you should be eating for your family. Gonna be all right for good for years to come.
Imagine you have a bad game and you getting paid $1 million a game. That shit just
That's a fact. You got it like so. If you getting paid $1 million a game, bro, like you at least got to put up double figures almost every game.
You ain't gonna do it, though. That ain't gonna happen.
Why not?
I mean, yeah, it could.
And remember,
like 10
that's
points.
only if you play every game. These dudes not playing every game, so really it's more than $1 million a game because they're not playing every game. So
yeah, it's possible.
They're not playing every game, yeah, because it's like that low management shit is like the NBA now. You know what I'm saying? They gonna rest niggas.
Anybody know how many games Shea played this year?
Shea played about like 68, I think.
Shout out to Lucky T. Yeah, because he had won the award. You got to play above, I think, X
65.
Yeah, 65 games for you to win that award. So he played a
So
lot.
3 games over the 65.
Yeah, 3 games.
If you take that 70 million and average that by that, you got paid more than $1 million a game.
That's a fact. You got paid way more than $1 million a game, bro. You add on like perks and all that other shit, bro. Like, yeah, you did all right. I think I want to say SGA played 76 games, and he played 76 games. My bad, 76.
Shout out to him.
How much was his
He
contract?
wasn't taking a lot of games.
4 years, 285, I think. 4 years, 285. Yeah.
Yeah, they can afford that.
They can. I'm just worried about J-Dub and the rest of these niggas, bro, because I know J-Dub.
Yeah, that one more hit like that, and then everybody else is getting bare minimum.
Yeah. Everybody else is. They're gonna have to get chicken McNuggets, and they're gonna have to rebuild the team through draft picks, which they still have. So, I mean, Nikola Topa seemed to be all right, bro. Like I seen him yesterday, bro. Like they might have a lead guard on their hands, but it's gonna be teams that want him to run their own team. So maybe.
Yeah, they try to equal. They try to make it where every team has an opportunity. That's what the whole apron is about. That everybody can get a superstar on their team or have an opportunity to get one and still have a team to play. But, you know, what can I say? I mean, it's a difference between you playing in New York City where there's 10 million people living here and OKC where you lucky if you got 1 million people there.
And Snyder, Texas, it's only 11,000 people there. So
see,
they ain't even got no team.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, shit levels.
Yeah. Like Dallas has a metropolitan area where it's millions of people there. But
hell yeah, Houston too.
Yeah, Houston do too. That's true. But not every city is lucky to have that. Plus, the marketing where your companies that you have in your city that operate for the whole country. When you think about it, when you go to Wall Street and you go to Fashion Avenue and you go to, you see what I'm saying? There's a difference between each state and each city. So some cities have it, some cities don't.
Yeah, but that's why them cities that don't got it, everybody from they travel to go to those major cities.
Right, exactly.
Like, because one of the OKC fans was telling me on Iceman page, like he not even from OKC, they from Kentucky or somewhere around there, but they just root for that because they ain't got no team in Kentucky.
Right. But they don't have the disposable cash like, say, for instance, people in New York City because you can hustle here. How much hustling you can do in Kentucky? So can't afford that uniform, that jersey, that that costs.
I ain't gonna lie, my nigga. Like, how much we got left in the cap right now? 17 mil. That's what they said.
Yeah, 17
mil. And they don't want to pay Cam Thomas much.
I'll be honest with you, bro. If this organization run out and go get like a high flyer that could knife to the basket, we all in on that Indiana shit, bro. Like that's clear to me.
Leave. How do you know we're doing that? Because honestly, you look at who we got. We don't have the talent that OKC or Pacers have, and right now, potentially Cam Thomas might be out of here just because Sean Marks don't want to pay him. So I don't even know if we're even on that trajectory right now.
I think we at least built 1/3 of it, bro. Like with the passes.
Honestly, I don't even know if we're even a teaspoon of the way there at this point. We
I'm not. It's not complete. I'm not saying that. It ain't nowhere near complete. All I'm saying is, it seemed like every step that they took from the time that the draft started and time that the draft ended, and looking at the way that the roster is starting to construct out, it seemed to me Like they're trying to build the early pieces of what the Indiana Pacers had this past year. That's just my like. It just seemed that way to me.
I don't see
I
it.
don't know.
I see them trying to incorporate your style basketball with having a lot of playmaking, but you don't have a center, you don't have a power forward, and right now Cam Thomas is our only scorer. He might be out the door just because Marks is lowballing him right now. So we're missing a lot of pieces right now.
I mean, shit, you got MPJ, bro. Like he ain't
That's
bad.
one guy. That's one guy though, Leaf, and he's
I
not.
mean,
He's a third
I
option.
understand. I'm not saying it's complete, John. All I'm saying is they starting. It seemed like they're taking the first steps towards it. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like it's nowhere near complete.
Honestly speaking, nobody, and being honest, be very honest. I want people to be honest. Nobody saw the Pacers going to the finals. Stop it. Nobody saw that.
The second that they beat Cleveland, I knew they was going to the NBA Finals.
Right. It took it into the playoffs that you knew they were for real.
Yeah. I mean, like it was.
A lot of people didn't, especially at the beginning of the year. They did not look like the same team.
I mean, listen. After
them did not play well.
After they beat the Knicks last year, I thought they was going to the finals, but the Knicks got hurt.
I did too, but not at the beginning. After you saw them come out the blocks, kind of shady.
But I did have them as an X Factor team in the East, though. Like I will say
you
that.
Had them a playoff team. You did have them a playoff.
No, I had them as the sleeper team in the East.
Oh, okay.
I had them as a sleeper team in the East. So, like, I mean
from year to year, when you look at as somebody as a fan and who played as a fan in street ball, you go year by year on how people's development is. You really don't know exactly who can come out the block and be a good player.
Facts.
You really don't know that. Some people, you just say, well, last year, you going from last year. That's what you're going from.
Facts.
So when somebody come into the year, say for instance, like Day'Ron Sharpe, I don't know if he worked on his game in a position where Jordy can use that on this team. I really don't know that. So I don't know. Day'Ron might come out and be able to put up 10 points, 10 rebounds every day.
Here's my question to you. I have a question for you, Scott. If Cam takes a 1-year deal, what are the odds that he's staying past that 1-year deal or he's not? Because that was a big topic of discussion today.
It depends on how his agent saying, how he's negotiating with other teams. That's how that goes.
But there's nobody negotiating with. That market, like Tim McMahon said today, is dead. There is no market right now.
Listen. I knew that last year, and I told people, and I don't know if, John, you remember, I told people this is really a bad time for Cam Thomas.
Bad time for all restricted free agents.
In this case, it was bad because everybody wanted the team to tank, and he needed to show.
And he didn't get the chance to show because of injury. I agree. That was a big downfall.
Even if he was playing, it wouldn't have translate because we look at teams and players translation with winning.
No, I agree. And Cam wants to win, but they're not in position for that.
If your team is not trying to win, you're not going to get paid. What you should be getting paid.
Right, and Cam Thomas has always said he's super confident in his abilities and he doesn't have nothing to improve his organization. But now Sean Marks wants to take the strategic, cheap narrative price that we told him to take years ago. But if I'm Cam Thomas, though, I'm like, you overpaid Joe Harris, you overpaid Alan Crabb, you overpaid Nick Claxton. I'm better than all those guys offensively, yet you want me to take a 1-year deal. That's probably the one thing I agree with Cam Thomas and his representation about. Why do I got to take a cheap ass deal when you overpaid all these guys? That's probably the only thing Cam has over him is that.
That's in hindsight. You can't really go from the past and make it the future.
But Mark has a record though of doing it.
Even if he was with another team, say he went to another team that was in the situation the Nets were, they would do the same thing.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
They would do the same thing when it comes to money. They're going to lowball you the best way. Honestly, when you look at Shea's contract, he deserved more than $280 million. Had he played on the Knicks or the Nets, he would have got more than $280 million. He would have got $300.
You talking about Shea?
Yeah.
He's good right now. The guy's gonna be making $1 million a game in 3 years, man. He's all right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, do you think OKC is gonna pay him $1 million a game? They can't afford to.
Yeah, what I'm saying, timing is everything. Cam just got bad timing. All the dudes had timing when they got paid. Claxton, Joe Harris, everybody had, even Cam Johnson. Timing is everything.
Right.
Cam, Kuminga, Josh Giddey, they all got bad timing, bro. They timing it all.
Well, Ice, did you watch Tim McMahon, what he said today on Connor Long's show today? Did you watch what he said?
No, I didn't see it.
No, watch it later. It's called The Brooklyn Boys. Tim McMahon gave a big analysis on Cam's market and stuff. It was very telling. Listen, I don't want to, disagree with everything that McMahon said about Thomas, but I kind of do agree. Like, I see why the NBA sees him the way he does. And here's the thing. If he's a sixth man on a great team, that's a great, he's great value. But on a team like us right now, there is no value right now. And that's unfortunate for Cam and his agency. But I feel like if he's not a long-term fixture on his team, I'd rather we nip this in the butt sooner than later than just keep Cam Thomas on the team so we flip him like we did D'Lo. I feel like that would be a waste of time at this point.
It's not unfortunate, John.
You know what else is disheartening? You know what else is disheartening? When he was putting up 2024 and you look at the stats and who else is putting up the same numbers that he was putting up. Look at what Cam Thomas was making, obviously on a rookie scale contract, and look at his company. Look at the money that they make it. So Cam Thomas asking for that money, I get it, but again, like I said, on the business side, I just think it's a good, from the franchise to the players that they just drafted, it's a good look to, you know what I'm saying, to pay Cam Thomas, but just I guess being, I don't know what's the word, just, you know what I mean? Take it, basically having an upper hand and just using it from franchise to player, because that's what they're doing. It could backfire. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to leave a good impression. If you want to get 5 first-round draft picks, they're going to be thinking about what's going to happen with their rookie scale contract when the time comes. You know what I'm saying? They at least want to see him do right by Cam Thomas sometimes with some type of way. They don't want to see him get done dirty. Disrespectfully, like, yo, are they drafting me?
That is a fact. I feel like they was making Cam Thomas sit out a lot of them games, saying you not 100% better. You're not 100% better, but at the same time, they just devaluing him so they could lowball him in the future, and that's fucked up business, bro.
I agree. No, listen, Jay, I 100% agree with the organization
did holding back.
Unfortunate,
John. That's why I'm saying it's not just that it's unfortunate. It's fucked up, because if I put you in the position to not be able to do, and then I say, well, you didn't do shit, you was injured, like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and seriously, that's why I feel like if Cam isn't a long-term part of the future,
player, you know what I'm saying?
In the butt at
that's
this
why
point.
He had the shirt ain't shit funny.
Like, I don't want Cam here if Marks is just waiting to trade him. I feel like that's just a waste of his time, a waste of all the people that support his time, and just our time, because why are we going to talk about a guy who clearly the organization's saying, we don't see you as a cornerstone guy. Maybe you're a third option or a sixth man, but it's like you still want to pay him less than $15 million, and I think that's going to hurt Sean Marks, like you just said, Breeze, because these other guys are looking, hey, this guy's a better scorer than us, but he's getting lowballed way worse than we're probably going to be lowballed. So it's like, what are we doing here? I think that's what Sean Marks' problem is. He was overpaying all these other guys. Now he finally grew a brain and a set. Now he wants to hold his ground. This is why I told multiple people that Sean Marks can't be the guy to do this. He is not a businessman. This guy is a flip-flopper. He doesn't know what he's doing, and now you're going to see this if Cam Thomas does sign a one-year deal, and he's flipped for nothing, basically. He'll be flipped maybe a pick. Like, it could happen now, guys, with what's going on here.
Don't see Sean Marks in the alley, please.
No, listen, I would never choose violence against somebody, but I clearly understand why this guy's bad at his job.
No, man, but you still got to look at the market, though. If they send you out and say, John, I'm going to pay you money, but go out, let me see what your value is, and you go out and you can't find shit, that means you ain't worth shit. You know what I mean? Like,
No. But to Jay's point, though, they were sitting this guy a lot of games, and Jock Vaughn didn't even trust the guy when he was starting to break out on his own. Like, he has not gotten the trust from this organization, and now you basically expect him to take nothing but play for the next 2 years. No, hey, Cam, we're going to D-Lo you. You're going to be flipped for Giannis. Like, that's not cool.
Like, bro, like, Iceman, you just saying that if he find out it ain't no market for him, hey, shit out of luck. But I'm just saying that it's fucked up for the organization to hold him back, like John was just saying, so he can't even build the market for itself properly.
Right, and he still has decent.
What's crazy is they've been holding him back. Like if you go back to if you go back to his rookie year, bro, like he had a stretch of games where he was averaging like 20 plus points, bro. Like, but of course with the lineup, bro, like you'll never know because most of them shits was losses. So they subbed him out, they gave him DMPs, and then they went right back to square one, and they did the same thing over and
That's why
over
he
and
like, yo,
over for
I
the
was
next
scoring
couple of
20
years.
for a minute. Now I gotta score 40, man. I gotta score 40 on it.
So
40
I'm gonna
don't
ask
work
you,
neither.
hold on.
40 don't
Yep.
work.
So
I got a good question. And you seen this happening to you. Do you sign the qualifying offer or not?
I
He could.
mean,
He could.
if you just came off the
Yes
season,
or no, yes or no, yes or no. You sign a you getting held
it
back.
depends.
No,
It
no, no, no,
depends.
no, it don't depend.
It
Yes or
do
no?
depend.
Nah, man, nah, because I'm about to
I
get
don't
to
think
something.
everything
Wait,
ain't
let me
just
hear the
no,
question, bro.
ice,
Can I hear the
ice.
question?
Everything
Can
ain't
I hear
cut
the
and
question,
dry.
bro? Can I hear
All
the
right,
question, bro?
do you
Right. Get him shit up. Go
you
ahead.
feel
Easy and
like
Ice.
you're
Easy and
being
Ice
held
get their
back,
shit
right?
up. Go ahead.
Through your career, shit ain't going right. You're being held back. Now it's time for you to go for another contract, right? Do you sign a qualifying offer or you just leave it on the table?
You sign a qualifying offer.
I
You
gotta
trying to
sign
stay
that
in the league?
qualifying offer.
You
No,
signing
Nah,
it?
you
no,
trying to stay in the league?
no, Ice, hear me
Yeah.
out. No, Ice, hear me out. Because if I'm a player that didn't get enough burn or didn't showcase my talent, so off rip, I'm asking my agent what's the market for me and players like me in that kind of field. Because more times than not, the agent I have gonna be managing multiple NBA players. So I'm gonna ask for my market off rip. Then I'm going to assess myself. If I didn't get enough burn, and if everybody around me getting low contracts, more times than not, if I'm taking the business into account, I can't really go out there and fetch a price for myself. If anything, I have to accept a price that they're giving me. And unfortunately, in this situation, since I'm in this position right here, pause, I have to take this offer that they have on the table for me. Now I have to move strategically and see if I could parlay that into the next contract, a bigger contract. But right now I have to take that because they have a control and an advantage over me that I can't leverage at the moment. So I have to create leverage for myself. The best way I could create leverage for myself is to get out on the court and show other teams that I have something to give to their team other than this one that I'm on right now.
No, that's a fair point. I think Cam's only options are you take a 2-year contract, hope you do well, just like you said, get yourself an all-star conversation, and maybe re-up with the Nets or ask for a trade at that point. But if you take a 1-year deal, they could probably trade Cam Thomas at that point, just because he's only be making what 6 to 15 mil, like Lee said. Like that would be a potential worry if he takes the 1-year deal. But that's his only leverage if he wants to get out of this situation. I feel like those are the only options right now Cam Thomas has because Sean Marks is not going for 3 years right now.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. No, when you sign a qualifying offer, that becomes your option. You had an option before you signed a qualifying offer because you could have went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But because you signed that and you're restricted now they get to match it. So what? Like Easy saying, like this is your path right now. You either got to take a 2-year, $6 million. You know what I'm saying? Like the rest of the guys, or you know what I'm saying? You gonna be short
Find
regardless.
somebody that's willing to pay you, and we'll see if we can match it.
Exactly. Like that's it.
But hold on, real quick, Ice, because we talked about this in a previous live. So, Jay, real quick, right? If I'm an outside looking in, right? So if I'm outside looking in, I'm looking in at y'all, right? I see that you offered him something and he didn't take it, right? And now with the information I have, I know that guy is a restricted free agent. So that's the highest number that they are willing to offer him. So me as a business outside, it will be bad business for me to offer him a higher number than that when the people in house didn't offer him that high number. If anything, it will be better because now I could say maybe I could offer him a lower number and gauge where that team is at with him. Now, if I put that lower number out there and they immediately match it, now there's some optics and some politics that come into it. Maybe they wanted to use another team to bid lower on the guy because they didn't want to offer too much money. A lot of things go into it. Maybe the team just wanted to see what was going on with the other team, so they bid low and see how quick you were going to bid back, right? It's a lot of things that go into GMing. But at the end of the day, me as an outside business, it will be bad business to offer this guy an outside contractor more money when they was inside of a company and the company was offering him less.
You know what the worry is? Who could potentially pry Cam Thomas free agency next year? It's the Wizards. They're gonna have over $100 million in cap space. They could sign Cam easily next year if he takes a qualifying offer and doesn't want to re-up with us. So there's a lot of worry if he takes that 1-year deal because the Nets aren't gonna have the biggest cap space next year. There are other teams who are making plans like Clippers to have that type of cap space. So I think you gotta get a 2-year deal with an option at this very point. That probably is the best chance you have. If it's a qualifying offer, do not be surprised if Marks just flips him for something. We're all going, what the hell, man? This is your best score. But that's what Sean Marks has done. He's always tried to trade something for something and pretend that it's gold. It's not gold. You literally just didn't want to pay the kid. Like, be honest. Like, I just don't like the bullshit going on with Cam Thomas' situation. At the end of the day, I understand why people undervalue him. I totally get that. But what you do with the contract situation, you had no problem giving these other guys all this damn money the years past. Now with Cam Thomas, like, oh, he doesn't have good character. He doesn't defend well. Now that the Cam Johnson or Joe Harris, he had no problem paying them money. like that's the problem with Sean Marks. His baggage has hurt this team way too much already, and now we're even struggling with the most simplest decisions. Give Cam Thomas a 2-year deal and call it a day. I'll leave it at that.
I think they're going to sign him.
Hopefully he get a 2-year for like 12 million or something like that. 12 mil or like
something like that. 12, 15 mil. It's not
Listen,
fun.
I was thinking about 15, like a 2+1.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. Like,
none of these niggas getting a player
point.
option. None of these niggas getting a player option. Nobody on this team have any leverage to ask for a player option.
Wait, Zaire and Daron got player options for next year.
Zaire is more tenured in the league, been around the league, got traded and more stuff. Well, let me rephrase my
do that
statement. The homegrown talent that we have 2 to 5 years bird rights on, we're not offering them player options.
That's interesting.
Okay, I mean,
the people that we have our guaranteed bird rights on, and we 4 years deep into their bird rights, we're not giving them player options.
I wouldn't argue with that, but what I would ask is what's the chances of us really getting Kuminga, because his name has been surfacing up a lot, bro. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you.
They said they don't want him, man. It's reports that say him now because we had the space to get him and we didn't resign Cam, but you know what I'm saying? His name being tossed around, but the Brooklyn Nets already said they're not interested in Kuminga.
They're not going to overpay for Kuminga. That's what Tim McMahon said today. They're in it, but they're not really in it. They're just like seeing what's going on. They're not ready to make a huge offer for him until it's like
real quick, John.
Kuminga is asking for 30 something, bro. Like, and the initial offer sheet is 22, and we don't have 22. But I mean,
exactly.
So
exactly that.
Right now, it's either right now, bro. I don't understand the weight on Cam Thomas. I don't understand the contract dispute because we could dig in the hard, but because he's our draft pick and we could dig in the hard cap, bro. Like, we don't have to use our initial 17 mil.
Yeah,
that's the reality.
Nah, but who is giving him that? That's what I'm saying. Like,
nobody else is giving him that. We the only team that can give him that. Nobody else is giving him.
But I also feel like if you want him to be valuable in future trades, why wouldn't you pay him too, though?
Yeah, because I'm just saying he might not be worth that type of money, and it might be harder if he don't live up to the contract. Then you know what I'm saying? Like you just stuck. You know what I'm saying?
I would bet on him living up to the contract personally.
Yeah, but I'm going. Let's go back to what Jay was saying. You want to pay him so he could be an act, so he could fit a deal in the future. If you want to make that deal in the future, like like you're not gonna pay. The reason why Cam Thomas didn't get traded this whole time because he was only making $3 million, bro. Like, and we wasn't gonna get nobody back of that value for no $3 million. So if you up him up to like $15 or $17 million, now you talking about a different scale of players. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you talk like if you would want to trade.
Can somebody real quick look up how much Kobe White is making?
Cam's name been mentioned.
Kobe White.
Teams wanted Cam since he was a rookie. They never put Cam on the trading block. But to y'all point as well, they never used him to the point where he had time to develop.
Kobe White is making $12 million a year, bro.
Right. So he's in the middle. Like, they value him, but to how much? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the problem with him.
And Kobe White been getting lowballed by the Bulls, bro. Like his entire career. He in the same situation Cam Thomas, and the only difference is he signed them qualifying offers. That's the only difference.
Nah, he was way more. Kobe White was featured way more for the Bulls than Cam Thomas was for the Nets, bro. That was a big part of it.
No, that's a very true point. Kobe wasn't, I think, an all-star a year or two ago, wasn't he? Or like in that consideration? He was really good.
But the Bulls are in a similar situation as the Nets. You keep on comparing it as the players. The Bulls
they've been lowballing Kobe White for a minute.
But Kobe White, when the time when he was being offered that contract, they was bringing him off the bench and use him as a sixth man. So you kind of in a sort of the similar vein as Cam Thomas. What I'm saying is, you could debate on how much you think Kobe White is better than Cam Thomas or Cam Thomas is better than Kobe White. It doesn't matter right there. The thing is the impact and the value you have towards the team. The team looked at it and said, this guy's a sixth man. Now his role elevated. He performed better. But at the time, they treated him as a sixth man. Look at that contract as a precedent. He getting $12 million per year, right? So, the Brooklyn. I just keep it a bean. The Brooklyn Nets don't value Cam Thomas the same way how the Chicago Bulls value Kobe White. So you have to go for a lower number than 12. Unfortunately, so if he's making 12, then most likely Cam Thomas might make somewhere between 6 to 10.
I don't think it's the Nets. I just think it's the basketball association don't value Cam like that. Like they might be certain teams.
I'll say that. I'll say that.
I don't think it's that.
I'll say that.
I don't think it's that. I just think that most teams are already invested in a two guard. They start in two guard, and they're not going to pay a lot of money for two guard that they're going to bring off the bench because they're not going to put whoever they already got started and been invested in on the bench for him right now.
Basically,
right. Well, and they took away the. And they took away the.
So that's cool. So
a lot of teams are capped out
hold
right now. We
right?
like Cam Thomas looking for a contract at a bad time because a lot of teams use their cap space already real quick. But go ahead, Alex.
No,
I was saying to Jay's point though, if you feel like that and you see that there's a guy that everyone thinks is better than they guy, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna move your player to get that guy. You would. So that tells you that Cam is not to like I said to the NBA. He's not as good as what we think he is to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Either the rest of the NBA gonna be wrong on Cam, or you know what I'm saying, we gonna be right watching him play. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody's gonna be wrong.
No,
either he is a six man or he a legit two guard. Like you know what I'm saying? Worth that bad. He's gonna be one or the other.
If he was on a good team right now, nobody would be complaining if he was giving you 20 points as a sixth man or fourth option. Nobody would be complaining. But being on a bad team, everybody is looking at him like under a microscope saying, no defense, no playmaking, no this, no that. We saw a little bit with the playmaking, but the problem is Sean Marks, by drafting all these point guards, you took away Cam's optionality to be a combo guard, to be a 1 and 2. Now he's essentially a catch and shoot guy where I don't want to pay a guy $30 million if he's just catching, shooting. He's doing it very efficiently, but that's the type of money you save for a 1 or 2 superstar on your team. And I think that's what the organization and the market are trying to tell Cam is like, we like you, but we're trying to put you in this position to where you're making said money. And Cam's like, I'm not playing that type of game. So there has to be some type of middle ground very, very soon, or else I don't see Cam being here long term. Just the way the body language and what ESPN is saying, like it doesn't seem like they want him to be that guy. They just want him to be a middle piece.
3 weeks ago, when I said I ain't want this to get messy, this is what I was talking about.
I said it too, Jay.
When it gets messy, that's what makes people build resentment and be like, yo, first, as soon as I could get out this motherfucker, I'm getting out of here. Like,
let me say this real quick. John, I disagree with one of your statements. So if Cam Thomas was on a good team and he was putting up 20 points a game, his value and his impact to win it in the team would be assessed different. So then his value would be different. So it's different. Like I said, on the bottom feeding teams, we gotta separate ourselves from like good teams, because good teams are giving out different contracts to different players. If you're a good player on the team, or if you impact in winning and you add in 20 points to the formula of winning, your value is different for that team. Meanwhile, we not doing too much winning. We trying to rebuild. And if anything, the times when he really like started or like had the ball in his hand, he really chucked it. So it's like impact and winning is kind of low. So I could I could mess around with your money right there. So like a good team is going to be different than a rebuilding team in terms of value and contract.
No, I agree with you, man. I think the unfortunate thing in the new CBA is a lot of restricted free agents. This might be your future. They might purposely try to, hold you back on the bench or lower your role just because they want to pay all these superstars, the money. But then you don't have that extra money now to spend unless you have cap space. So I feel bad for Cam Thomas. If he came to the NBA a few years earlier, I don't think there'd be as much of a discussion about it right now. But now with all these new penalties and aprons, Sean Marks is like, I don't want to be anywhere near the first apron until we have a Giannis or Joker on this team. And for Cam Thomas, that means I might have to just be on a bad team for 3 years and getting lowballed. That's a problem.
That's not Sean's fault. That's not his fault that the apron is designed that way. You got to remember the owners made the apron.
But
Ice, your mic is going in and out. Yeah, Ice, yeah, your mic is going in and out. Sometimes. Yeah, you good right now. You good right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so NBA players talked about this happening before. They thought that was happening to Jonathan Kuminga, and you see it happening to Cam. So it's not a recent thing. It's been going on for years, and it's just being now that you seeing it, you like, oh, it's messed up. But them dudes been held back before. You know what I'm saying? A lot of NBA players been held back before because of contracts. I think Gilbert said that he been held back because of contract. They sat him down, didn't play him 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Limited minutes. So he don't get that contract, and they think Jonathan Kuminga is in the same situation. He asking for that much money, but he ain't get to show out. So you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get that contract. Right. It's not a new thing. It's an old thing.
Yep, it's been around. It's not a GM thing. It's an owner's thing. This is what the owners want. This is what the small market owners wanted.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you didn't want to get to this point. Me and Jay was saying this weeks ago on Breezy's show. You want to get this resolved first. If Cam Thomas at least somewhat a part of your future, that should have been one of the first things to get done. Now he's the last thing, or near the last thing to get done.
Yeah, but John, if I offer you a contract, you're going to take it.
About the team, you're going to keep your
yeah, but like I just said, the only thing Cam Thomas has leverage over Sean Marks, that Marks had no problem throwing bad contract money away at players that were limited too in skill set. Not as great as scores as Cam Thomas, but now it's like Cam has to follow that. Like, this Marks' problem. He has a bad pattern of deals that have not helped us, and players like Cam are going, you're lowballing me when I could give you easy 20 points like nothing. I can understand that from Cam. That's probably the only leverage Cam has over Marks is the fact that Marks has a bad financial history of giving out outrageous contracts. That's probably the only leverage he's probably telling him right now, or his agency's telling him.
So right now, okay,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Easy.
Real quick, Scott. So I'll say this in the contract negotiation for Cam. I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm saying for the most part, I will be thinking that Cam is coming to the table with the numbers he put up from this season and the season before. He using the numbers and the production he put up. That's his leverage right there, right now. The production he put out on the court. He don't got too much to him, but the production he put out on the court and where he could elevate. Unfortunately, for the contract that he going for, he didn't do too much before, and there's not too, and from the company, from the Nets organization standpoint, they might not be looking at too much upside for him. So that's why they could lowball him with this number. But if he did something impacting winning, then he probably had a better leverage in the negotiation. Well, I'm pretty sure he comes to the table with the production he put up. But go ahead, Scott. My fault.
No. I'm saying it comes right back to the whole idea of everybody wanted to tank. Remember, everybody was talking at the beginning of the year. Oh, we're going to tank. I said, Cam has got a contract. He don't want to tank.
Yeah, but if
everybody was talking about tanking.
Yeah, but if you trade away Cam Thomas, we are definitely tanking because you're not going to have anything. I'd be surprised if this team without Cam Thomas wins 9 games. Because you have nobody to create offense like that.
More than 9 games, John. We winning
more than 9 games.
But wait, if Cam is not on this team, who's carrying? Michael Porter is going to be the guy averaging 30, 40 points?
We was winning games with
30
Cam Thomas out, though.
I mean, we was winning games. We won 26 games, bro, when Cam Thomas only played 25. So
yeah, but you had D'Lo and Johnson on this team, 2 veteran guys. You take that
barely
away.
Played, bro. Come on, that don't count.
Oh, come on. When D'Lo in February was dishing out those assists,
he barely played. He barely
played. The game winner against the Rockets. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I understand that, but he barely played.
Come on.
Barely played. That's the truth.
He had a game winner. He
barely played.
He had over 14 assists in the game. That's all
He barely played.
He contributed to winning, though. He contributed to winning, though.
That was one of Sean Marks' confusing decisions. If he was not going to
contributed to winning, though, he won at least 2 games, nigga. He helped win the back-to-back
Yeah,
games for the Rockets.
come on.
So off rip, nigga.
He played 29 games, bro. Come on, bro. He barely played.
He had a mini month of February because he was playing those games. Leaf.
Was a D-Lo though.
He barely played.
Man,
he was on a lone playmaker, Scott.
He barely played. That's the truth.
On that month. No, it's not the truth.
Yeah, when you have a guard that's competent, yes, you're going to win games. Yes,
he should have been bought out.
Yes,
if we weren't going to bring D'Lo back, you should have bought him out.
Games at the beginning of the year, y'all people were crying. Fans were crying. Oh, lose. This is what I heard. And I'm thinking Cam Thomas' money is getting cut because you saying lose.
What's getting cut even more is now the NBA don't want to pay him, and Sean Marks doesn't want to pay him. Never want to pay him. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Marks ever wanted to pay Cam Thomas if we're calling 100. I think Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant chose him. Look what Kevin Durant said on the podcast.
I said Kevin Durant chose him.
He was controlling that shit, bro. From the get-go,
I said that, and everybody was just like, nah, you got to give him Sean Marks credit for that. No, I don't. That wasn't his pick.
He told Marks, get Cam Thomas. That could be my 6th man right there. I see a mini time.
For all we know, bro, they looked at that like they looking at Cam Thomas now, and all they see is, bro, fucking Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
Facts, man. Come on. As soon as they left.
That's all they see. That's all they see when they look at him and now, bro. Like, they seeing the last stint of that, bro. How we know that? How we don't know that? Like, I've been saying that, bro. Like, these European players and all of these international players are here for a reason, bro. They trying to cut off the skin of what was left, what was left from the Kevin Durant era.
Right. Yeah, they take the world away.
I agree with that, Lee. That's a different story, though. But that's the whole reason.
I think that shit is the story.
That's the story. You're right, Lee. That's the story.
I think they trying to cut off all of the skin that remains from the Kevin Durant era. They don't want that shit to be attached to them at all.
Right. They don't want to be paying these players $70 million. That's what it is. Not
unless you have the main guy on the team, and there is no main guy right now.
No, you can't win a title with one player and just
no. But you need the focal point. Pacers and OKC are not in the finals without Shea or Tyrese. Respectfully,
that's how the owners see it. That's how the owner. If I was an owner, I'm being honest. Think about it. If I'm making money, I'm not trying to give away my money, man.
That's a fact.
What are you talking about?
I mean, and to go even deeper, bro. This goes back to what I was saying about possible multiple championship teams, bro. Like if you gonna build that, the way you gotta do it, you gotta build it the same. You gotta get lucky the same way the Warriors got lucky when they was paying.
Simple.
When they first started winning championships, when Steph was only making $11 million.
Right.
That's chicken scratch.
I'm telling you, that's why he botched this up so badly.
That's the way you got to do it.
No, but this is why he botched his draft up so badly. Not getting a Fears, not even drafting a Maliwak or a Senge. Now you don't want Cam Thomas. It's like, this is why the decisions on draft night don't add up.
He's doing
you could trade up for him. Marks had all the assets to trade up for one of those guys if he wanted to, but he didn't. And now you want to get Cam Thomas out the way because we have no real young talent at the point. We have guys who play rotation pieces at the very worst. Like, we're not even building anything at this point because it's so repetitive. A lot of guards, no center, no power forward, waiting for a superstar. This is the old playbook of 4 years ago. Nothing has changed.
Respectfully, bro, we don't know what we got in these 5 picks, bro. Like, and I'm not finna paraphrase and go back and forth and tell what we got with these 5 picks because we don't know.
Yeah,
bro. Like the thing is, bro. Like, how many teams is drafting for 5 first-round picks, bro? Like, and then if you draft first 5 round picks and you don't hit on none of them, bro. Like, yeah, you don't need to have a job ever in the league. I ain't gonna lie, you need to, my nigga. Like, you need to go to McDonald's and get a job. That's what you need to do, bro. Like, you don't need to be associated with basketball ever again.
This guy was riding the Spurs coattails, man, before he became a GM. Like, come on. Like, what did he do on the Spurs?
Of course he was riding the Spurs coattails. He was an intern. He had no job. The fucking intern, bro. Like,
He
motherfucker ain't had no
the
damn
coffee
job.
to Popovich. He brought the coffee to Popovich.
Yeah, he was in there to bring coffee for free, bro. Like they paid him $20 every 2 weeks, man, like they do at Job Corps. Come on, bro, get out of here. He was an
Damn, nigga said
intern.
he was at Job Corps in the Spurs.
I'm telling you, if we don't land a top 5 prospect in next year's draft, we don't land in this draft. That trade we made with the Rockets.
Nah, bro, get your mind off of next year's draft. You're not landing no top 5 nothing.
If you don't land a
Y'all
top
need to
5
get your mind
prospect,
off of that.
no, wait, let
We
me
are
finish.
not landing nothing in next year's draft.
Wait,
I'm not
if
going
you
to
do
another
not land a
300.
top 5
I'm
prospect
not going through another
this year and next year,
365 days
it is one of the worst
of Nets
trades of
fans
all
telling me,
time.
bro, that we should land AJ DeBonsa or Cam Boozer, bro. And if we don't land one of them, it's a fail. Or Peterson,
It's
it's
a
a
huge
fail.
fail. We gave the Rockets free capital, essentially. For what?
We don't control that draft shit, bro. The NBA does. It's clear. They gave all of the fucking talent to the West. They gave all of the top talent in this draft to the West.
Hell, we gave some of that
control
talent. We didn't
shit.
draft Mally Walker Fleming. We essentially gave the Suns Rasheer and Common for free,
Molly
man.
Walk is a Duke center, and he is in Phoenix, bro. He about to
Oh
become
my
the next
gosh, I
regime
don't know
to
why you
beat.
like Molly Walk. Yo, easy, come on, man. This guy was on like National Center.
Molly
Come
Walk is
on.
not carrying nothing.
Okay, we're stuck with Claxton. He gets cooked by Bismarck Biapo.
I want Claxton out of here. Me and you both on the same page. I want Claxton gone.
Well, we can't because all the other teams that want him are making moves, but Sean Mark keeps sitting on his ass with a thumb up it, man, not making moves.
Look,
now we're stuck with Claxton.
Look, we got rid of
dealing
CJ.
with these metaphors.
We got rid of
graphic,
CJ, bro.
man.
We got rid of CJ,
We
bro.
got
Like
Paul.
Claxton is next, bro. That's all I'm gonna say about
Who's
that.
gonna want him? There's only one team, maybe the Hornets. That's it. Nobody else wants Claxton. Like everybody else has made moves.
We got rid of CJ to get CJ. Yo.
He ain't get rid of CJ. Stop calling him that. He not that. That's not who he is. That's not who he is. Stop.
CJ for PJ.
Goddamn player, bro.
Bro, we did not get rid of CJ for CJ. Stop that shit, bro. Like that's not the same player, bro. Y'all keep looking at stats.
Same nigga.
Yeah,
No, it ain't. That's not the same player, bro. I'm telling you, it ain't.
Nah, one of them just cost $40 million more.
CJ don't got the same athleticism as this nigga, bro. He don't got the same bounceism. He don't got nothing that he got but his shot.
Yo, when the season starts, my nigga, you gonna see why we saying he not the same player, my nigga. You gonna
exactly what I'm telling niggas. You gonna see exactly why. You gonna see exactly why CJ and MPJ is different niggas.
Hold on, I'm gonna ask you a question, right? Is he gonna spot up and shoot threes? Is he gonna come off curl and shoot threes?
All he do is spot up and shoot threes.
Nah, I seen him catch a couple slashing dunks just like CJ.
I have never seen CJ catch a putback in this league ever.
What?
I have never seen CJ catch a putback dunk in this league ever. But I seen that shit from MPJ.
He caught one last year.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, he did one time.
I'm just saying, CJ, MPJ, same shit, man.
Hey, that $40 million expiring contract is the most valuable part of that whole deal. That could help us get something if Marks uses it wisely.
No.
That could be
What do you got against Sean Marks?
That's real valuable right there.
Listen, I will give
Scott.
Scott, I will give Marks credit when it's justified, but I'm not going to give him credit for leading us down a desert the last 9 years. I'm not giving him credit for that. Now this Cam Thomas stuff is even more lack of clarity. My problem with this organization is every time we expect clarity, draft lottery, this draft, we're not getting it. Summer League, not getting it. Cam Thomas, we're not getting it. Like, all this should have been done already. And now we're probably waiting till August for it to be done.
Let me say this. So Scott, you got to feel John at some point, right? So, like, Sean Marks is doing everything he can. But, look, I can't give you credit for putting out the fire to the house that you started. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not saying that
so
he hasn't made mistakes. He made mistakes.
No, you made mistakes, but we gotta take it into, like I said on the last night's stream, we gotta make sure we put everything in contextual view.
Mm-hmm.
Every fire is not built the same. The fire that you started off rip, that should have immediately chopped you.
But they all get extinguished the same.
Not necessarily, but the fire that you started, right, from the minute you decided to trade KD, it is feasible that you should have been chopped from that moment. He decided to keep you to clean up the mess, and probably make a bigger, a better project than the mess that you made. But at the end of the day, you got to feel where certain people coming from. The mistakes you've made, some GMs get chopped for it.
Yo, easy, yo, I gotta end the show. I gotta say, hold on. I gotta end the show. I gotta say, Nets fans is the best fans, but easy. Before we go, you said NSB is back. What's that about? Talk to me about that. What's going on?
Yo, follow a nigga on TikTok, man. Let me follow my TikTok. I'm bringing NSB back, man. We gonna hit TikTok first, then we gonna make our way right back to YouTube, man. Cause niggas is playing, but make sure you know I'm bringing the heat back, man. I'm bringing the heat back, man. I'm gonna try to bring the heat back, man.
All right, yo, I'm tapped in. I'm tapped in. I'm gonna be back later, y'all. I gotta, maneuver. But yo, man, shout to the Nets fans, we the best fans. Shout to District JCB, Scott, everything, Brooklyn Nets, John, Easy, Ice, Elite, Dante, everybody that was on the panel, the fans in the chat. Hey, what's up, Brandon? we gonna be back real soon, and yeah, I'm a little mad that I didn't get a chance to clip up the episode. But watch the whole thing. These shows be good enough to watch the whole entire podcast. But, I try to get y'all short clips. But again, we'll be back real soon with more content. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace, y'all.